All right, here. Carl's keeping me on track here. Good evening. It is Monday, March 6, 2023, 6:30 p.m. I'm Mayor Chris Martin calling to order the regular session of the Logansport County Council. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Amy Densmore.
Present.
Larry Hood.
Present.
Jonathan Elms.
Present.
Jake Ladon.
Present.
Scott Peedy.
Present.
Carl McPherson.
Here.
Dave Morris.
Present. We'll start with the approval of minutes for the regular session's February 6, 2023 meeting.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jonathan Elms.
Yes.
Jake Ladon.
Yes.
Scott Peedy.
Abstain.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Amy Densmore.
Yes.
Larry Hood.
Yes.
All right, next is the approval of minutes for the special call session, February 13th, 2023 meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Scott Peedy.
Abstain.
Dave Morris.
Yes.
Amy Densmore.
Yes.
Larry Hood.
Yes.
Jake Ladon.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Jonathan Elms.
Yes.
All right, any reports from committees, boards, and commissions?
Mr. Mayor, on March the 2nd, the Planning and Economic Development Committee met to discuss the signage standard ordinance and the primary structure materials ordinance. Both of those were approved by the committee and moved to the April General Council meeting.
Any other reports from committees, boards, and commissions? All right, seeing none, moving on to old business, ordinance 2022-51. Councilman Elms.
Ordinance 2022-51, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, approving an additional appropriation from the general fund for the payment of IRS penalties and interest. Move to table ordinance 2022-51.
I second.
Any further discussion? Call for question on tabling ordinance 2022-51.
Amy Densmore.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Scott Peedy.
Yes.
Jake Ladon.
Yes.
Larry Hood.
Yes.
Jonathan Elms.
Yes.
Dave Morris.
Yes. Ordinance 2022-51 is tabled. Ordinance 2023-02, Councilman Ladon.
Ordinance 2023-02, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, amending Ordinance 2013-23 regarding vacant properties. I ask for a vote on the second reading of Ordinance 2023-02.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jonathan Elms.
Yes.
Jake Ladon.
Yes.
Scott Peedy.
Yes.
Amy Densmore.
Yes.
Larry Hood.
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Dave Morris.
Yes. Ordinance 2023-02 passes on its second reading. Ordinance 2023-03, Councilman Hood.
Ordinance 2023-03 is an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, establishing a responsible bidding practices and submission requirements for submitting bids to perform construction work on public works projects. Mayor Martin, I ask for a second vote on ordinance 2023-03.
A second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Amy Dinsmore,
Yes.
Dave Morris,
Yes.
Jonathan Nelms,
Yes.
Scott Petey,
Yes.
Jake Ladon,
Yes.
Larry Hood,
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes. Ordinance 2023-03 passes on its second reading. Ordinance 2023-05, Councilman McPherson.
Ordinance 2023-05, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, vacating alleys in the City of Logansport. Mayor, I'd like to move this forward for a vote.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Dave Morris,
Yes.
Larry Hood,
Yes.
Jake Ladon,
Yep.
Amy Dinsmore,
Yes.
Scott Petey,
Yes.
Carl McPherson,
Yes.
Jonathan Nelms.
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-05 passes on its second reading. Ordinance 2023-06, Councilor Dinsmore.
Ordinance 2023-06, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, allowing utility task vehicle usage on the city streets. I'd like to move forward ordinance 2023-06.
Second.
Any further discussion?
So the council packets have the older ordinance, and the newer one is up on the screen right there.
Yeah, it will be here a second, Jake.
Okay.
Give me just a second, pull it up. Second, I don't think that's right. There we go, there's the new one. I think the changes that were made are down here in the sections. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the changes were the fines if the rules weren't followed and the hours of operation.
Part of it was the tags, and to where then when that would be announced, would be determined as to where they would be displayed. And then also where the funds would be deposited for the fees for the licensing. And I also think this section 9 was adjusted.
Further discussion?
On the changes we had, who all agreed on this? I mean, why the changes?
There was a meeting a few days ago, and
Who was in it?
me, Dave, Jonathan, Casey, Bob Dunderman, and
Oh,
Travis.
so the side with the ATVs was in on it? Okay.
But the changes that you see on the screen were changes that were made, I believe, after Casey and Travis met, is that correct? It's the ones that are currently up here.
This document does not reflect change we had from the meeting on Friday.
Okay, the changes you had on Friday, this past Friday, today's Monday, are not in here? Are they supposed to be in here?
No. our draft, I had not submitted it yet from our meeting on Friday. I haven't had a chance to complete it yet.
Okay, so are we gonna table this until the changes come, or are we gonna do a vote on it? I mean, this is just the first reading. We'll have the second reading till April. So, all right. I got no more questions. We'll call vote.
Yeah, Amy already made a motion, and Larry seconded for it already. Vote on it?
To vote on. Okay, good.
All right, any further discussion? Call for question.
Carl McPherson,
Yes.
Jake Ladon,
Abstain.
Scott Petey,
No.
Dave Morris,
No.
Jonathan Nelms,
Abstain.
Amy Dinsmore,
No.
Larry Hood.
And no.
Okay. It went down. That means it cannot be brought back up for a year. Is that correct?
Someplace we have a rule that says that.
I mean, is that state statute or is that policy that we have here in Logansport? It can't, it was defeated, so this ordinance cannot be brought up again for at least one calendar year. All right, no other questions.
Ordinance 2023-06 fails. Ordinance 2023-07, Councilman Petey.
Ordinance 2023-07, an ordinance of Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, revoking ordinance 2021-50 in its entirety and improving a new Logansport City Employee Handbook. Mr. Mayor, I ask for a vote on ordinance 2023-07, please.
I second.
Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, there is one section or one line that was left out of the original that had already, this has already gone through committee and the committee had agreed with it. It was left out inadvertently and I wanted to make sure that you knew that it was in there now. This was for the parks, for their 12-month replacement. So in other words, the original one that you guys saw had the new full-time parks and golf employees receiving equipment after 90-day probationary period. The 12-month replacement for people who are currently full-time employed for each year, that segment was left out. So this gives them a 12-month replacement with three logo T-shirts, either long or short sleeve, 2 pairs of jeans, 2 pairs of shorts, and a pair of steel-toed boots to be covered. So that had been left out originally. And this is budgeted. They have had this in their budget for this next year. So,
Any further discussion?
so I would say you need to make an adjustment to have this amendment put in, because it was in the first vote, it was not in the first vote.
I'll make a motion to amend.
Second that motion.
Okay, call for question.
My second here.
Jake.
Okay. Scott Petey,
Yes.
Jonathan Nelms,
Yes.
Dave Morris,
Yes.
Carl McPherson.
Yes.
Larry Hood,
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore,
Yes.
Jake Ladon.
Yes.
Amendment passes. Ordinance 2023-07.
The amendment.
Do you have a motion to vote on ordinance 2023-07?
Passed.
It's been amended.
That was
That was the
amendment.
amendment.
Oh.
I make a motion to pull it forward for a vote with the amendment.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Scott Petey,
Yes.
Jonathan Nelms,
Yes.
Dave Morris,
Yes.
Carl McPherson,
Yes.
Larry Hood,
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore,
Yes.
Jake Ladon.
Yes. Ordinance 2023-07 passes on its second reading. Ordinance 2023-08, Councilman Morris.
Ordinance 2023-08, ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Logansport, Indiana, establishing additional home rule funds required for the operation of the City of Logansport, Indiana. I'd move this forward for a vote.
I second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Scott Feedy,
Yes.
Jake Ladon,
Yes.
Carl McPherson,
Yes.
Amy Dinsmore,
Yes.
Dave Morris,
Yes.
Jonathan Nelms,
Yes.
Larry Hood.
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-08 passes on its second reading. No new business, any public comments? Anyone in the audience who would like to make a comment, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for us. Okay. Seeing none, any council member comments?
Yeah, I got a comment. Mayor, what's the status on Captain Jones of the fire department? I mean, his trial was over, what, be 2 years this June? Are we gonna reinstate him, or, I mean, what's going on between the attorneys?
It's all been taking place at the Board of Works meeting. We set a meeting with him and his lawyer to determine what he actually wants to do, because there had been 2 or 3 changes of mind. We had scheduled medical appointments for him as a precondition to being reinstated to pass the basic fundamental testing that goes on for a new officer, because it's been out of commission for a long time. We had that meeting. He then said, yes, I do want to be reinstated. The chief set the medical appointments. He went down for the appointments. The doctor said he wasn't able to take the physical part, and then he refused to take the mental part,
Drug test.
and the drug test. Thank you. Good thing what the third one was, because there were 3 basic things you take. And so, at this point in time, until he's physically able to go through taking the test, he's not being put back on the department.
Okay, but there's no time. Okay.
We have said it at least 3 times.
Yeah.
For those.
Well, no, it just keeps dragging out. I mean, and if he does come back, we owe him money. We're gonna owe him probably $500,000. And that's what I'm saying. Money's tight this year with the city. And where's $500,000 gonna come from if he does? I don't know. These are just comments coming from Carl. So, okay, we got a timetable. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, we don't have a timetable.
Well, we got a timetable yet to be determined, depending on the doctors and the psychiatrists down in Indianapolis. So we're at their mercy. All right,
It's his,
I can live with that.
Carl, you misunderstood what he said.
What?
He has had those set and has never completed them on any occasion. He had a chance to do 2 of the 3 and get that part in the bank, and he said, no, I'm not going to do that, even though they encouraged him to do so, to get it done, to keep it moving. So, and I haven't heard, I've called his lawyer twice to see
Yeah.
what they want to do, and there's been no response.
Well, we wait and see if he shows up tomorrow at the Board of Works, because I guess he's been showing up there quite a bit. Okay.
Any other council member comments?
I have I have a couple comments. First of all, we're planning on having a finance committee meeting on March the 20th. That was originally scheduled for 6:30, but because of a cancellation, it'll be at 6 o'clock on March the 20th. So if there's any departments that have anything that they want to present at the finance committee meeting, please get it to me. We've got several items on there already. The other thing I'd like to talk about just briefly, and Casey, I want to direct this to you because, I've wrestled with this UTV issue for a long time. And what's the right decision for the city of Logansport, what's fair to everybody. And I feel like you kind of fall into a unique situation. Your primary goal, from what I've understood, is mainly for work purposes, not for pleasure. I feel like, and this is just an opinion of a guy that doesn't know a whole lot, but my opinion is for the people that bought UTVs for pleasure. Quite honestly, they knew what the rules and regulations for the UTVs were there. I've listened to the hardships of having to, get a gas can to go get gas and things like that, but they know those things when they purchase them. But with you, I feel it's different. I never knew your situation until the other day when you explained to me that your property used to be in the county, you could travel back and forth without any issues, and now that you're in the city, part of your business is in the city, or all of it, I'm not sure which, you have the unique situation of not being able to legally drive your UTV. So I can't tell you what the end result will be, but I will certainly look into seeing if there's a way that we can create some kind of grandfather's exception for you. But that's all.
Very good. Any other council member comments? All right. Miscellaneous business and any matters not already considered, including ADA Section 504 compliance or concerns. All right. Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. So moved.
Second. Call for question.
Dave Morris,
Yes.
Jake Ladon,
Yes.
Jonathan Nelms,
Yes.
Amy Densmore,
Yes.
Larry Hood,
Yes.
Carl McPherson,
Yes.
Scott Petey.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Have a great night.
I think it's.
Oh, really?